Hey, hi everyone. My name is Rene Gonzalez, and this is my presentation for my project. So I'll go ahead and share my PowerPoint presentation. See if this works. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay. So for my project, I decided to go with a solar farm. So I called it Mexicali Solar Farm, and this is a solar farm that will be involved in the production of clean, renewable energy in the city of Mexicali in the state of Baja California Norte in Mexico. This is in the northwestern part of Mexico, borders with California, and specifically with close to the city of Calexico. And I believe declining prices for PV technologies, combined with domestic and international efforts to mitigate carbon harm to the environment, presents a great opportunity for this. So this project, let me go back, sorry. So this project consists of a 100 megawatt solar array, again in Mexicali, Baja California. And I used 3 criteria for the site selection process. And those criteria are solar irradiation, first and foremost, and then second, access and proximity to the grid and to transmission lines. As the third criteria, I used potential and future business opportunities. So solar irradiation, Mexico benefits from a high level of solar radiation. Specifically, one of the better parts is close to the city of Mexicali. As a whole, daily irradiation in Mexico varies between 4.4 and 6.3 kilowatt hours per square meter. And this is comparable to regions in Africa, in the Andes, and some parts of Oceania. And according to Mexico's National Commission for the Efficient Use of Energy, the northern states of Mexico benefit from an average of 5.85 kilowatt hours per square meter. But Baja California, and specifically the area near Mexicali, has a high rate of 6.4. We can see here that this is where the city of Mexicali is approximately, here where I'm pointing, south of California. And according to this table, it's around 7. So it's really good. And here we have the average monthly radiation per state in kilowatt hours per day, and Baja California is the blue line on top. And if we can see here that based on the CONUE, which is this commission for efficient use of energy in Mexico, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 months out of the year of 6 or higher radiation rates, and with the highest being over 8, and the lowest being 4.9 in January. The second criteria that I used for my site selection was the proximity to transmission lines. And really to ensure just the feasibility in the project regarding proximity to transmission lines to be able to connect to the grid, I looked for a site that actually found a site that is located close to 3 cross-border transmission lines. That'll be close to what is known as the La Rosita switch. And one of these 3 cross-border lines is owned by San Diego-based Sempra. And this is just to increase, potential business opportunities. And here we have I guess a chart, or not a chart, a layout of the transmission lines. So here is Mexicali. Okay, this is This is what divides the dividing line between Mexico and the United States. So we have California over here, and then Baja California over here. So this is Mexicali, and this is the La Rosita switch. And if you notice, this is one cross-border transmission line, and then we have two over here. So the third selection criteria that I used was, potential additional business opportunities. So the local market in Baja California for small and medium-sized customers, according to the Federal Commission of Electricity, the retail price for kilowatt hours is from 9 cents to 0.25 cents. I'm sorry, from 9 cents to 25 cents per kilowatt hour. For the manufacturing industry, it ranges from 8 cents to 20 cents per kilowatt hour. And then in California, at least in San Diego, it ranges from 19 cents for residential, 15 cents for commercial, and 11 cents for industrial. Also, for additional business opportunities, one of the things that I really took into consideration was Mexico's Secretariat of Energy. They've established overall targets of almost 25% electricity from clean energy sources by 2018, 35% by 2024, and 40% by 2035, and 50% by the year 2050. So this location provides potential opportunities enabled by the Mexican grid market, serving more than 4 million customers in the Mexicali, Tecate, Tijuana corridor. Again, where the price of electricity for residential customers can go as high as 25 cents per kilowatt hour for high-tiered residential customers. They have a tiered rate structure. Then another potential customer base are the large industrial manufacturers who operate in the area. And there's really big manufacturing operations there, including Sony, Samsung, Bose, General Electric, Panasonic, Kenworth, Honeywell. I think Tijuana, at least, because I used to live close to Tijuana, and I remember when I used to live there, I had a friend who was the general manager for Samsung, and he told me that around, I think, like 70 or 80% of the televisions worldwide are produced or assembled in the city of Tijuana, where Samsung, I think, has one of its biggest plants, if not the biggest plant, and also Sony. So as the government of Mexico places higher priority on carbon mitigation legislation, these industrial companies will be required to reduce their carbon footprint in order to meet the stricter environmental regulations. So that could be a potential opportunity for our solar farm. So for land rights, we've identified a 200-acre plot within 2 kilometers of the La Rosita switch, again, which provides access to the transmission lines. And the owner of the land is a Mexican developer who owns over, I think it's over 10,000 acres in the region. And he's agreed to lease a portion of land based on ongoing markets using a 20-year contract. So to ensure community support, we'll be conducting initial and follow-up annual socioeconomic community studies. The studies will cover the expectations and interest of the population, as well as their perception regarding the performance of developers in areas like social engagement and commitment, environmental protection, perceived business ethics from our company, and participation in local economic development, which is extremely important for them. And also, as part of that, local hiring. And also labor and material procurement to develop the economy of the area or the region. And this study will serve as a guideline to consistently address any risks and opportunities that could develop. And proactively, we will conduct numerous educational activities and workshops to increase the public's knowledge and awareness and understanding of what renewable energy is, its positive impacts on the overall environment, and to the area's economic development. Okay. So based on the size of the solar array, its solar radiation, and its DC to AC derate factor, as we can see here in the slide. So the solar array, the size is 100 megawatts. We can see it here, which is 100,000 kilowatts. I use the derate factor of 8.85 for developing countries. So doing the calculations using the table that Professor Sanchez provided, total annual production for this project is almost 178 million kilowatt hours per year. Financial information. So at an average price of approximately $1,400 per installed kilowatt, the capital cost for this plant is going to be around $140 million. Annual operating cost at 1%, we're looking at 1.4 million for operating cost per year, and annual capital cost, assuming an interest rate of 4% over 20 years, the project's annual capital cost would be around a little bit over $10 million a year. So total annual cost per year, including operating and capital costs, are approximately $11,700,000. Okay, so by taking the total annual cost and dividing it by the total estimated electricity production of 177 million, then we end up with a production cost of 6.6 cents per kilowatt hour. And as mentioned during the site selection slides, we have various options we can pursue, including the local market and the small and medium-sized customers, the manufacturing industry, and also the international market, which is probably the most attractive one. I don't know if it's the more complex one because it's international, but it is definitely, if you look at the numbers here in the slide, at 19 cents for San Diego Gas and Electric, that's extremely, I mean, it provides a big margin of opportunity. So what I did is, first I did a 10% scenario and wasn't too attractive. So I went with a 20% scenario, so at a cost of 6 cents per kilowatt hour, and assuming 20%, then we could easily sell our clean electricity at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. And the resulting annual profit for the 20% scenario would be around $2.5 million, and it represents an annual return of, I think it was 1.89%. So I rounded it off to 2%. Then we have additional benefits, and these are the societal benefits. And based on the production of the plant, our solar farm would provide the following benefits: a reduction of 128,000 metric tons of carbon emissions, a reduction of 624 adjusted life years of human health disability, and a reduction of 2,416 species years of ecosystem damages. So the total cumulative benefits represent a decrease of $743 million in combined resource depletion costs. So as populations continue to increase and technologies evolve, demand for energy continues to rise. And the demand of energy increases, so do negative impacts of fossil fuels. This in turn has a negative impact in our environment by the way of climate change. So we are looking to renewable energy sources to meet this demand in a safe, clean, and reliable way. Declining prices for PV technologies, combined with, again, the efforts to implement carbon mitigation plans, presents a great opportunity. So in summary, Mexicali Solar Farm will be 100 megawatts, a 200-acre plot in the city of Mexicali with an average 6.4 solar radiation rate. Initial capital investment is $140 million, and annual total cost is around $11.7 million. Capacity is 780,000 kilowatt hours per year, 177 million, I'm sorry, generating 2.6 million in net profits. And in addition to this, over $740 million in societal benefits as reductions in depletion costs. We believe that proximity to the 3 cross-border transmission lines between Mexico and the United States provide great opportunities and makes our solar farm a low-cost, reliable option. So this is my project. Thank you so much for a really interesting semester, and thanks to everyone who contributed, especially to our professors. And it's been a pleasure to talk to and meet all of you guys. Thank you so much.